we're officially recording now. But yeah, if you want to just talk a little bit about your experiences becoming homeless, and then how that made you feel, and
Exactly.
what that shelter system was like. Once you got into that.
In 2005, I lost my house of 28 years in Penn Hills to a predatory loan. I had a commercial garbage business. I wasn't succeeding in the business. I was working, but I wasn't able to pay my bills. I grew up in a religious home, but as a lot of people, I grew away from the church. My house was a status to me. The car that I was able to purchase was a status to me. I would, on the weekends, come out and look at my well-manicured lawn and say, well done. This is what I have achieved. And somewhere I lost sight of what God wanted me to do and be in life. And when I lost my home, I eventually wound up at East End Cooperative Ministry. I was too proud to come to my family, my cousins and so forth, friends. I didn't want anybody to know about my situation. I still had a car. I had a pickup truck at that particular time. And I kept saying to myself that I was going to overcome this here. I kept going by saying that one day I was going to have a bigger house, a bigger car. I would be able to come back and say, see, this is what I've done. But over a period of months, God has a way of getting your attention. And my health started failing. I had pneumonia. The living conditions in the shelter was not that great. I had never been around men that had addictions, alcohol problems, people that were in jail. I was scared to even go to sleep at night. I did temporary work for one of the agencies out in East Liberty, and I would hide my money. In fact, I got less sleep being in the shelter, concerned about my safety and so forth. So when I left the East End shelter, I went to Northside, to Pleasant Valley, and my health even more deteriorated. I had heart problems that the doctor told me. And I was there, I would say around 30 and 40 days. And I had an opportunity to talk to the executive director, Mr. Michael Glass. And we found out that we had some peoples in common. In fact, his sister's ex-boyfriend lived next door to me. And I was telling him that I had sued him in court, that he had a disabled child and they had something like 15 or 20 cats. And the cats used to come on my property and so forth. And he said to me one day he wanted somebody to stay in to help this man do some floor work there. And at first I was a little concerned because he had been a neighbor. I didn't want him going back telling the other people in the community where I was at. But the fact that I was sick and tired that particular day, I stayed and I helped him. Not doing that much, but at least I was on the inside. And afterwards, Mr. Glass said to me, would I consider taking a position there at Pleasant Valley? And first I said, no way. Because financially, I couldn't see myself doing the things that I wanted to as far as working there. But sickness, and now I say that God has had something to do with it, made me change my mind. And I took the position there as shelter monitor. And I can say this here, when I took the position, like a lot of people, I didn't understand the homeless men. And the fact that I had walked that walk, the days that was cold, not having any place to go. I can remember one afternoon in East Liberty when it was windy on a Sunday when there was nobody there. And I said to myself, please, I know life has to be better than that. And so when I was in this position, I always thought that people that were homeless, it was a result of their own decisions that they did these things, and that it was their own fault that we shouldn't help them and so forth. And I was what I called a closet Christian. I was straddling the fence. I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, but yet at the same time, I would close my eyes to certain things. And I would say, well, God, I haven't done anything wrong. Why are you letting me be in these situations and so forth? So after the second year, maybe the third year of being at Pleasant Valley, I became a little bit more compassionate. Got sick every time I thought that I was ready to take that leap. God knocked me back down. And he said, fella, I don't know what's wrong with you that you don't understand this here. And I said, well, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I still have that dream of being financially successful with things, material things. This is my goal for living. This is what I wanted to do. And maybe in the fourth year early, it seems like my heart just changed. The fact that I was sick, that he had blessed me, that he let me come back. Each time I was in that hospital, it seemed like when I got back to Pleasant Valley, when I got in that chair, I felt like a new man. When I would see other people's problems, professionally, we weren't able to tell them what to do. But I would always say, I'll tell you what helped me. What helped me. You see, and that was God. There would be occasions that the men would be sitting in the resource center, and they were arguing about what to watch on TV. And I would turn it to religious broadcasting. And they would say, turn it back, Al. And I would say, well, I got arthritis in this hand, and I can't turn it back. And it really got to me because I couldn't understand why some men kept doing what they were doing, that year after year they would come back. And there were men there that come from good families that for some reason or another, an incident or something happened and they just couldn't turn their life around. There were young men there that were going to school that just needed a break or opportunity, that their 60 days had lapsed. And I would go to Mr. Glass and ask them, can we just give this man a little bit more time? And it had come a time that I said, God, I just don't understand this. Why would you let this exist? Why? And what I came to realize and understand as far as talking to other people and chaplains, there's some just things that we don't know why. The only thing I could do is what he wants me to do, that I'm supposed to do. And I had a problem because, as I said earlier, I was a closet, quote-unquote, Christian, trying to live that life, but not coming out verbally and saying that we should do this and we should do that. Reading my Bible when I wasn't there, but yet seeing things and not standing up and saying it and so forth like that. But each time that my health went down, I prayed. He brought me back. I prayed for my grandkids that they would have favor with God, whether it be financially, health-wise, that he would give me time to teach them the ways of God, and he has. It's been a joy to see them, the interest that they have in Christ now. I've been blessed. And I've said sometimes I'm no longer at Pleasant Valley Shelter, but I sit sometimes and think what I should have did, or if I should have did this, and so forth like this here. But I know in my heart that God still has something for me to do. I don't know what it is. I'm supposed to be retired now, but there's something moving, things that I'm thinking about that I have to do in my life that he wants me to do. You see, he didn't bring me there now and say, sit there. He brought me there for a reason. There's still works to do. And really what I'm learning about compassion and understanding is that we say that we love Christ and we don't even love our brothers and sisters. So now I even have a little bit more patience. If I'm in a doctor's office or a community human services office, when I see people misbehaving, I say to myself, God help them, bless them. I remember a time that I wouldn't have any patience, but now I do. I can sit back and wait because I know a change is coming.
Tell me, for someone that is homeless, how do you overcome it? How would some of these guys overcome their situation? How did you do it?
How did I do it? I think the prayers of my family, the background that I had, the motivation I had in life as far as my business, I use that to go about trying to prove myself from being homeless. But again, as I said, every time I thought that I almost got there, it was always about material things. It was always about that. And that's not what it's about. You see, even though I might not have a house, a beautiful house, I'm still blessed. He knows our needs. It's the decisions that we make. If you accept Jesus Christ, you're going to always have a place to stay. Even after my employment, I had financial problems. And every time I thought and couldn't understand why a way was made, it was made in such a way that I had to sit back and go, whoo, man, I'm getting scared. I'm getting scared. So the fact that they're homeless, you just can't expect a man to accept Jesus Christ because he is homeless. He needs a place to stay. He needs food to eat. And after these things, you can express to them what they need to do as far as having Christ in their life, expecting Jesus Christ. And the one thing that I had with this shelter was that I didn't think we were doing a good enough job as far as doing that, spiritually trying to help the men. And on a couple occasions, we had discussions on the weekends where we had invited the different pastors and chaplains to have a discussion on how we could help the men spiritually. And it just so happens that I wasn't there long enough to see these things go through what I wanted to see as far as helping the homeless men and so forth like that. So.
I think that's good.
Well, it's not it with me. Hold on. Hold on.
I mean, you got something else to say? Go for it.
Yeah, I got something to say. I'd just like to say my relationship with Living Ministry has been great. when I first met the 4 young men of Living Ministry, I didn't understand them. Coming from a traditional Baptist church and so forth, I couldn't understand. I believed in things being done in a sober way. And here these 4 men, the relationship over 4 years has grown. I've learned to appreciate what they did in the community, all the coat drives that they had during the winter time, the effort that they would go to the different temp agencies to help people to feed them. They were an inspiration to me that I had a change in my life, in my experience at Pleasant Valley Shelter. And I always will remember it and appreciate what they did.
All right.